once I am in a sensation, something physical, internal, creative happening to me, if I did my homework, that homework will show up. And what really, the only way you know that is by letting the homework go. You're not going to know that by holding on to it. And then by not doing any homework, I'm left to the will of the word, right? Whatever I feel the word are. And that's when usually actors don't remember their lines. They're like trying to hold on to this line and it kind of disappeared from their memory because the nature of the memorization became the only text approach that they had, right? And there's a thing about finding your own, as you said, finding your own impulses in direct connection to the life of the person you're playing. And that you start to have what we call character thoughts, right? You know, Ivana Chubbuck teaches that. She teaches the nature of a character thought as an internal monologue that is constantly running on every single line. I think there's great benefit to that, right? Because now the problem to me with that, the only problem with that is at some point you're going to have to let that go. At some point you can't be constantly in your head thinking about what this other actor did to me and therefore what I am doing and what do I want based on that. But if I have an approach that leads me into a trigger or into a springboard, those internal monologues become extremely helpful. They get into your body and allow for the energy between the interaction of the moment or just the interaction of a camera, right? Allows it to come alive, and as you rightfully said, those impulses you start to trust. But trust and acting, very difficult thing because trust requires faith that if I let this go, it will show up. And that can be very tricky for actors who haven't worked, who haven't studied, who don't have a sense of what exploration is in terms of professional exploration, that you're always exploring something with another actor in a moment. And therefore they hold on. They either hold on to the line, they either hold on to their idea of the scene, and they're not invested in the life. And all text approach should lead to life, should lead to a sensation, should lead to a physical being of the character, should lead you into what you rightfully said is, I'm launched into this scene, what I'm thinking, the character must be thinking, and therefore I start to trust. And even more importantly, I start to open myself up to listen. And I think there's a big thing with that. Like talking and listening. Listening we don't do just with our ears, and talking we don't do just with our mouths, right? We have all this thing, body language and energy in which we send, and the nature of how conflict operates on us, and all acting has to be about that level of understanding of conflict, right? If there's no conflict in a scene, even if you're saying I love you and I want you and you're the person of my life, I'm not going to pay to watch it. There's just no way. If there's no conflict with that, I'm going to be like, great, you're humiliating me for being single and 50 and a dad. Great. You're making me feel like I'm never going to find love. Thank you for confirming the worst suspicions. But if I have a sense of why that character at that moment, because of who they are, because of what they want, or why they are making that choice, then I'm giving myself a launch into, oh, I had this thought and this impulse, and I can trust it because the nature of this love is in direct connection to a lot of different elements of who I am and a lot of different elements of what I'm going through. And text approach is supposed to lead you into that. Text analysis is supposed to lead you into that understanding of the story and the circumstance and understanding of the want. But again, if I don't have a first way of reading it, in other words, if the very first thing I'm doing with the script is reading it and trying to memorize everything, well, there's no way I'm going to give myself enough time to look at what the story is, look at what the history I can get out of it is. This is the other thing, that a lot of actors deal with. Well, there's no information about the backstory. And I'm like, did you read the script? Did you read the script? Did you really take a read at the script? Because there's a conversation that he has with his father that tells me all this. They don't talk about their past, but it tells me everything about their past. There's another conversation that he had with his boss that tells me, yeah, this guy's single. Yeah, this guy hasn't had sex in about 5 years. And yeah, he's broke or he spent his money gambling. Yeah, again, my choices that come out of a very basic conversation. Because what drives directors absolutely crazy is when you start to direct yourself in the moment, right? Well, I'm supposed to be upset. I'm supposed to be in this kind of idea based on what I read. And the director will go, well, yeah, that's true. Well, some directors, let's not talk about all directors. A lot of directors don't know acting. But some directors will just go, yeah, that's true, but that's not all it is. And I want you to come with more, right? And then the actor's sitting there, and I've seen this on a set, where the actor's sitting there, more what? Yeah, I did the lines. I was sad, and then I was happy, and then I was defeated. Like, great, that's all you think the scene's about? Wonderful, enjoy that. And then you start to feel that, wait a minute, is there more to the life than that? I'm like, obviously there's more than a life than that. Even if I made the choice that they're happy, sad, and defeated, that has impact on who that person is, on what they want, on who they were before they showed up in this situation, and why what they're doing is making them happy, sad, and defeated.